So, north of a year ago at this point, Infinity released, and unfortunately, we had great difficulty in getting some of these cards to mechanically work on Magic Online. And recently, Sticker Goblin kind of got released on Magic Online, but the sticker decks were just too difficult to actually get to work on the client, and the result was that this card was highly errated to get something that overall ended up with a similar effect. Donald has been waiting for basically a year, maybe longer, to see a Pox League that uses attractions as an alternative win condition. And Lifetime Pass Holder is a really neat card in that shell, in that it's something that you can end up returning to your hand later if you end up sacrificing it to a Smallpox or an Innocent Blood. And the attractions can give you a lot of accumulated value over time, which is something that Pox wants. But guess what? Your attraction deck is probably going to be like your sticker deck in that it's maybe never going to come to Magic Online. So, Donald, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to record a Pox League. I found an interesting alternative Pox deck list in the Pox Discord. We're going to fire off a Pox League with that, kind of check your donation off my deck list. And if the attractions ever actually make it to Magic Online, we are going to revisit them heavily because I'm very interested to see how these things actually play out. Hello folks, Phil Gallagher aka ThrabenU here for another Legacy video, and today we are going to attempt to play Poxgak. Yeah, Poxgak. It's a thing. I found a deck list for it, so it's a thing. The general game plan here is to play recursive creatures such as Bloodghast and Gravecrawler, and eventually assemble two of them in play so that we can cast our good friend Hogaak. Now, there is a decent chance that an 8/8 Trampler can go and just win the game on its own, but we do live in a white removal format, and a format that has things like Karakas. So sometimes this just can't go the distance on its own, and we need another finisher. So in addition to just winning via combat damage, we also have a combo kill. So the idea is you play your Hogaak from graveyard, you initially sacrifice it, targeting yourself to mill more creatures and hopefully copies of Bridge from below. Eventually, you can create a loop where you make two zombies from the Hogaak dying, and then you can infinitely replay the Hogaak. Ultimately, you start milling your opponent instead of yourself to get a mill-based victory. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the full deck list here. So here is our Poxgak list in all of its glory. We can play control in the early game with cards like Smallpox and Innocent Blood. But since our creatures are recursive and will eventually come back, even though, there's some, asterisks next to that, it's not like they always come back immediately, we don't care that we sacrifice our own creatures, especially since sometimes we will end up netting creatures by sacrificing our creatures, either to the Altar of Dementia, one of these effects, or even a Cabal Therapy. The main deck is kind of simplistic. The sideboard here is super clean. Like, this deck knows what it is targeting. With both Surgicals and Leyline of the Voids, it is targeting opposing graveyard-based decks very heavily. But Thoughtseize plus Surgical Extraction is supposed to be a more generic plan versus combo. With the combination of Cabal Therapy and Thoughtseize, that's 8 turn 1 discard spells, and if you're playing against something like Show and Tell, it can be a real plan to go and just rip all of the win conditions out of your opponent's deck list, or at least enough of them that you can buy time to aggro your opponent out. Beyond that, the deck is playing Feed the Swarm, which maybe don't think of primarily as a creature removal spell. Primarily think of this as your way to deal with Leyline of the Void. Other than that, there's a sneaky Dryad Arbor in the mana base that sometimes we will fetch up with a Verdant Catacombs. That is there primarily so that we can get the black and green pips for Hogaak. So if you end up wanting to play this deck list, the link is available down in the video description to my Mox field. And if you need any paper magic cards, check out Cool Stuff Inc. and use promo code ThrabenU to save 5% on your order. Let's battle. Alrighty, I am on the play here with the ability to start fueling my graveyard. Do I therapy? I think I am going to Cabal Therapy and just name a very generic legacy card here. And just like name Brainstorm. Hit. Okay. Good shit. Pass turn. So it looks like our opponent is playing a storm deck of some kind. Hundra's a little weird. Like, I get it, because silence is happening. I wonder if this is like Riddler or something of that general ilk. Well, I was planning on wastelanding. I guess Smallpox is largely better here. Not fully better. But, like, this gets my Bloodghast into the graveyard, so I can just bring it back next turn. It's worse if my opponent plays a basic land as follow-up, because Smallpox can kill a basic land and Wasteland can't. Yeah, there we go. We need one more creature to get this Hogaak into play, which is going to be my primary path to victory. Oh, we're going. Cabal Ritual. Wishclaw Talisman. Are you echoing? Adnaz? Aston Flame? Goblins? What are we looking at here? Okay, it is a moderately sized Empty the Warrens. Okay. I don't have any sort of sweeper effect. So my line is this, return Bloodghast, fetch, get Swamp, cast Bloodghast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast Hogaak. And we're probably playing towards a combo kill, more so than anything else here. The Bloodghasts, unfortunately, don't block. I'm never getting enough hasty damage to kill my opponent. I guess I attack for 8, get Altar of Dementia, and go for broke. Alright. Opponent's at 11. Wishclaw Talisman. Or Altar of Dementia. Do this. Sacrifice. Target myself. Mill with Hogaak. There is a bridge from below. That's good. So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Altar of Dementia. Target myself. Sacrificing a Hogaak, which makes a creature. There's now another bridge from below in there. So, choose me. Sacrifice with Bloodghast. Make multiple zombies. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas. So, Hogaak, paying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hogaak again. Altar of Dementia, target myself. Sacrificing the Hogaak. Okay, my opponent has seen the writing on the walls. I'm going to do this a couple of more times, and then I'll start milling my opponent out. I don't have the math internalized for at what point that's deterministic, but I think we were good there. So, I love Thoughtseize. Leyline's okay, but I'm probably not going to play it. Surgical is okay. I will consider playing that. I don't need Innocent Blood here. Honestly, Smallpox is not, like, the best. A land and a card is not bad. But this might just be an opposing combo matchup where I need my second land to, like, play Altar of Dementias and Bloodghasts. So is Surgical Extraction combined with Cabal Therapy and Thoughtseize better than Smallpox, which is inherently a kind of 2-for-1 if you look at it sideways? I think Smallpox is slow on the draw. I think on the draw, I'm going to do this. Alright, I've kept my opening hand here. I would really prefer Thoughtseize in the opener over Cabal Therapy, but this hand probably wins the game on turn 3 a good portion of the time. Ponder's fine. And I think I Cabal Therapy or something my opponent can't play out on turn 1. So I think like Cabal Therapy for Wishclaw Talisman, for example, makes a lot of sense. That is a shuffle. All right. Therapy, target you. Let's try to hit Ye Old Wishclaw Talisman. Miss. Okay. We know what's there for next turn. Opponent doesn't have a Brainstorm to stop us from taking a card. Wall, JK. That makes this a little trickier. So we know Delta's gone. LED is probably still in hand. Lose my Altar. LED is no longer in hand. Other LED is no longer in hand. Okay. Gack, you say? That's mighty interesting. A bridge from below. Also interesting. That means I could Cabal Therapy and try to mill myself into a Bloodghast here before I make this land drop. So does my opponent still have the Ponder? They played Brainstorm as their thing for turn, and then played Duress. Is the Ponder the valuable thing that they hit on top? Or am I just naming like a Cabal ritual here because it represents so much mana? And my opponent might just have another win condition on top. I think mana's not the bottleneck. I think cards is. I'll make my 2/2. We did mill a Bloodghast. Let's name that Ponder. Okay. We did hit. Now I will land drop, return Bloodghast, then let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drop the Hogaak. Fetch. Throw a Gravecrawler in play. I have a ton of pressure, but there's a very good chance that there's just a tutor on top, and I'm a little too slow to kill my opponent here. Oh shit, we get another turn. That is exciting. Send them. Opponent's at 4. I have no real plays here. Just gonna queue up a fetch land for later for returning Bloodghast. Let's see if our opponent can kill us. And it has to be a kill, probably. I don't know that the goblins are just going to beat what I already have in play. Ah, damn, we get there. I don't know what my opponent put on top with their Brainstorm, but I think if they hide that Ponder, they might win that game. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com. Just the best place to host your deck lists online, just full period. It is. And I can say lots of nice things about them, or I can just show you that I have 328 deck lists on this site, and I think that's about the best endorsement that I can give them. All right, what do I think of this one? It doesn't have real combo potential. It has Smallpox, but not like... It's not really a great Smallpox situation for me. I think my Stitcher Supplier hands are just like objectively stronger than this one. Okay. After the mulligan, I think Smallpox is the weakest card here. Whereas I would also be like really excited about the Smallpox if I was on the play. Damn it. Smallpox would be so good right now. That's neat, but I don't think necessary yet. I think we're probably trying to race this opponent. Mill Cabal Therapy. Am I doing that immediately? I think that's fine. All right, Cabal Therapy, target you. 3 lands, not what I'm looking for. So I think I want to name like a green sun here. I don't want my opponent to be able to green sun for a Collector Oof in game 1. Basic Forest on Goblins. Brilliant deduction, Phil. We got baited. We got fucking baited so hard. Oh. I'm not upset. But I'm also not really sure that Basic Forest belongs in that deck, so there's that. 1, 2, 3. North of 5 cards in graveyard. That means we ballin'. Fetch. Swamp. Grave Crawler. Putrid Imp. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's a big boy. It is non-deterministic, but I potentially have a combo kill next turn. We'll see. At the same time, my opponent's board is getting scary. Okay, cool. Ancient Tomb on top now. Yeah, so Muxus just happens next turn. Cool, cool, cool. We've got some lines, though. We've got some lines. Don't count old ThrabenU out yet. Alright, send them. Opponent takes 8. Going to 10. I play Altar of Dementia. I'm going to sacrifice, targeting myself, and attempt a combo turn. Ooh. There's a bridge from below. Look at that. Why, yes, I would like to use that ability. Hogaak. Yeah. Opponent has seen this before. If my opponents all concede to this, though, I won't remember how it actually works. So there's that. So in my mind, this matchup is fully a race where we're mostly going to be ignoring each other and see who dies first. And I have 8 cards that I can consider. Feed the Swarm is nice on a mana dork, but is not a real answer to something like a Muxus, because I will lose enough life that it's just not realistic for me to do that. Smallpox on the draw is really rough, because it's not going to hit my opponent's turn 1 mana dork before they get to untap and use it to do something like a Matron, and then I don't get the meaningful body off of the battlefield. So I feel like Smallpox is great on the play and questionable on the draw, because I just always want to have my second mana to do Altar of Dementia nonsense. I think on the draw, I'm going to Thoughtseize to try to break up my opponent's combo from hand, and on the play, I play Smallpox. I am not interested in this hand. This hand doesn't try to win the game quickly. And I am all about trying to win the game quickly. By similar logic, I don't think this hand actually accomplishes anything meaningful, especially since this can't block, and this maybe can't block. Let's go to 5. Okay. This doesn't try to win the game, but turn 1 Innocent Blood is pretty hot. So I could keep like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relatively reasonably. Let's do that. I don't think I get to keep 2 pieces of disruption here. I think I have to keep some fuck. Double fuck. Okay. All right. In the question of who is the beatdown, the answer is now it's fucking Phil. It's fucking Phil. All right. So let's try to thought seize a Snoop out of my opponent's hand here, maybe. Let's get a Matron out of their hand. This is a good news, bad news situation. The good news is my opponent's hand is fully dead. The bad news is mine isn't much better, and the whole Innocent Blood Gravecrawler combo is no longer a combo. Sure. Opponent just fully trying to thin the deck here. Okay. Let's cast that. If my opponent wants to bounce it to my hand. Cool. Yeah, my removal's just awkward now, though. We might be in sad game of limited territory where my opponent plays this out. Really? Paying life? Instead of just fetching? Okay. 2 creatures, 1 creature, 1 creature. Like, I'm producing a 2/1 that can't block either way, and the Stitcher Supplier is not necessarily doing anything positive. You have, like, Veil of Summer too? Is that what that represents? Alright. We are nearing Muxus levels of mana. I do not believe that is supposed to attack. I don't know the rest of your hand, but like, the only way I kill you is by beating you to death with, like, very sad bodies that I maybe wouldn't play in Limited. And you're giving me opportunities to get chip damage in. Like, if your last 2 cards are just, like, Land Muxus, like, so be it, I'll shut up. But I do not think you are the beatdown in this game as of right now. Especially with Ancient Tomb here. 6th land. Goblin Chieftain. Sure. Goblin Matron. I'm gonna die next turn to Muxus. Yep. What the fuck? Oh no, this can't block. JK. But this can. I think this is a bad attack. Now I get to stop Muxus from deterministically having haste. And I also get to attack for 4. Which I couldn't do previously because this was a free toughness creature. Yes. This also has haste now, because my opponent went to 10 life. Okay. Situation is bad, but not unwinnable. I think it was unwinnable if my opponent doesn't attack with the Lord. Like, please don't get me wrong, like, I still probably lose this game the vast majority of the time. But, you know, Muxus could whiff. Yeah, okay. 17 mana. It's okay. Being better. Snoop, Lackey Snoop. Food chain. Okay. Sure. So I would have died this turn, and I did not die this turn. That is the good news. Bad news is I still lose the game. Yep. Let's get a little more information on the way out. Let's mill you. And mill you one more time. Just see if we see anything neat. No additional meaningful information. Yeah, my idea that we're racing is 100% correct. If my opponent's build is both name sticker goblins and food chains. The difference here primarily is that I now have to board in Feed the Swarm to respect Leyline of the Void. I think it's hard to board in more than 4 cards in this deck. Like, I can pretty easily remove a set of cards. But if I want to race this opponent with my own combo, I need to keep the core intact. Which might mean dropping the Thought Seizes when I'm on the play to have better answers to Leyline. Not a fan of how this is lining up. This is a very reasonable hand if my opponent doesn't have a Leyline. And if they do have a Leyline, I still beat down relatively hard. But I don't think I can just throw away a hand that starts on Stitcher Supplier because that card is so good. Cool. Took some bad cards off the top. That would have been very good cards if my opponent didn't have the ley line. All right. So, oh God, those Innocent Bloods are really awkward right now. All right. We are the beatdown. All right. Say la vie. So we just kind of hope that my opponent's hand was weak and just happened to contain Leyline of the Void. I hate that I'm showing them this wasteland here. All right, opponent's at 16. Do I show them the wasteland? Like, do I have things that I need to cast above this mana value? Not really. Maybe I don't show them the wasteland. What if they fetch end of turn, though? I would like to be able to punish an end of turn fetch to do something like a munitions expert or something, although they already would have done that, so IDK. Sure. I have them on a 3-turn clock. That's not bad. There's a matron, which trades with all of these creatures. That's a sticker goblin. I am upset. All right. Send them. Yep. I don't think I am supposed to Innocent Blood pre-combat to, like, get rid of the Stitcher Supplier and force 1 more point of damage. I think the plan is trade these for goblins, rattle off 3 copies of Innocent Blood over 2 turns to undo whatever bullshit happens during this turn. Oh, God damn it. So many bodies. It also means they probably have Muxus if they're not willing to play it out this turn. I think at this point I'm just going to throw in the towel. Like, this is not going to happen. Like, I can trade for token, Sling Gang in combat, wasteland this, delay a Muxus or Sticker Goblin aggro thing, but, like, I'm just not winning here. My opening hand here doesn't really do anything. No. I think no. Stitcher Supplier's hands are just better than what I'm looking at now. All right. At this point, we're on 5. This is not a great 5-card hand. I probably can't afford to Smallpox. I can keep like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And have game versus creature decks. Be fully dead to combo. And just hope that I top deck well. Or I can mull to 4 looking for a Stitcher Supplier hand that reasonably tries to actually win the game. I think I need to go deeper than this. Because if memory serves, my opponent is a combo player. Ah! Like, I can keep 3 lands and an Altar of Dementia. No, let's find Swamp Stitcher Supplier. Let's find Swamp Stitcher Supplier, I said. I guess, like, is 2 lands and therapy better than Swamp Stitcher Supplier? I just name Doomsday on turn 1. No. Swamp Stitcher Supplier. So you're telling me there's a chance. All right. God damn it. Nope. We're not showing the opponent. On a mull to 2, like, we're just losing the game, so let's not. Okay. So conceptually, I don't need Innocent Blood. That is the first 4 of these. I will need 3 more cuts. Is it Altar? No, Altar's actually really neat, huh? Like, my opponent makes a Doomsday pile, and I just say, like, hey, what if you didn't have all those cards, though? That's neat. Am I just not messing around with trying to surgically extract Doomsday, then? Or surgically extract to shuffle the Doomsday pile? Because that was my initial thought. Yeah, maybe I don't mess around with surgical. Okay. Polluted Delta, play Putrid Imp. Discard Bloodghast and Bridge from Below. Cast Gravecrawler. So I will have 1. I could have 2, 3, 4, 5. It feels like this is a little short of where I want it to be. But I think I'm going to keep this. I think I'm just going to keep something that lets me Thoughtseize on turn 1. And then is already very close to doing Hogaak things after that. All right. Let's Thoughtseize. Ooh, Beseech the Mirror as well. Well, I'm going to take the Doomsday, as it is the card the deck is named after. Opponent's hand is pretty good. Like, they can Thoughtseize away this Putrid Imp, and my hand gets slowed down a lot, because I can't just naturally discard this Bridge from below and the Bloodghast to cheat them into play. Yep. Ooh. Yeah, this turn would have been gross if my opponent didn't have that Thoughtseize. Still think I'm supposed to take the Doomsday, though. And Operation Sad Beatdown is a go. Every point of life matters in this matchup. Damn it. So the good news is my hand will probably just go wild if I draw a Stitcher's Supplier. And even a fetch land is very good. A fetch land just produces Hogaak. Ooh, did you find Doomsday? Or is... Oh, okay, yeah, there is an artifact to Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing Lotus Petal to Doomsday. Oh, shit, it's Gaia's Will instead. Am I just dead? Like, am I dead to a Tendrils? 7, 8. Oh, yeah, sure, you can Thoughtseize first. So, second Dark Writ. Beseech the Mirror for Tendrils kills me. Yeah. Oof. That was good. Oh, man, I would have hit the Stitcher's Supplier, too. Yeah, I would have gotten a Hogaak on my turn. My opponent did not have much time. All right, I've kept my opener here. We've got a really strong Stitcher's Supplier-based start. I guess don't stifle me? Okay, did not get stifled. I think since I have 2 Stitcher Suppliers, I am comfortable ramming one into a Daze. Nice. Cabal Therapy and Hogaak. If I am expecting Exile-based removal, I am supposed to cast this Cabal Therapy right now, and if I'm not expecting Exile-based removal, I'm supposed to just pass the turn and play another Stitcher Supplier next turn, which I think is what I'm going to do. Like, you can't just assume that your opponent's on Delver or anything after seeing Scalding Tarn. But I think I want to get a little more information if possible before making other choices. So let's go second Swamp, Stitcher Supplier. And for Bloodghast, maybe that's wrong. And a Cabal Therapy from hand? Yeah, maybe let's Cabal Therapy from hand and name Brainstorm. And then determine what deck my opponent is on. Because I might need to hit like some show and tell type stuff. Brainstorm. Brainstorm is a hit. So, you know the hand. Am I needing one of these to Hogaak in this turn cycle? Maybe. But it's a little optimistic. I think I'm going to go ahead and push the 2 points of damage. The 1 point of damage. Alright, opponent's at 18. Cabal Therapy. Target you. Would you like to Force of Will? You would not like to Force of Will. I can hit Omniscience here, followed by Emrakul. Yep. Nice. Alternate art goes down. Ball Therapy, target you. Sacrifice Stitcher's Supplier. Where are all my Bloodghasts at? Name Emrakul. I can shuffle that stuff back in. That's A-okay with me. This turn was avoidable if my opponent casts their Brainstorm instead of greeting on the Brainstorm. Smallpox. Do I need land 3? This is really weird because, like, Innocent Blood is, like, not all that bad of a card right now. Smallpox takes one of my opponent's lands and their Force of Will. Okay. I am good with that. Alternatively, it takes Force of Will plus blue card. It takes 2 Force of Wills. That's fine. My mana doesn't quite work out, so I can do another thing this turn cycle. Yeah, you can fetch some basics. All right, cool. Now I just need a secondary creature. There's a secondary creature. Let's play Gravecrawler and alter this turn, though. That uses my mana better. Hold on, just checking. There's not another Gravecrawler in there, right? No. All right, and alter. And then when I play Hogaak... Oh, I don't actually get to mill kill this opponent. They have Emrakul. All right, folks. Let's try to do something broken. Mill 3. There's Hogaak. I think I'm into just casting that. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hogaak. I think I would like to, well, no bridges in there. What if I Cabal Therapy target you, sacrifice Gravecrawler, name Ye Old Show and Tell. There's an Emrakul over there. Noted. Let's recast this. Altar of Dementia. Target myself. Junking Stitcher's Supplier. There's a bridge. Okay. So I can now cast a Hogaak. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the... Oh, I could have done this better. I could have held priority and then sacrificed this one. All right. Do it better now. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Altar of Dementia, target myself, sacrificing the Hogaak. Yeah, we didn't hit too well. Maybe it doesn't matter. Do it again. Hogaak. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Altar of Dementia, target myself, sacrificing Hogaak. Get Hogaak again. Repeat one last time. Or sorry, I cast the Hogaak. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alter. Target myself. Junking Hogaak. Time it makes 2 zombies. Leave myself with 4 cards in graveyard. How many Innocent Bloods are currently, or sorry, Cabal Therapies are in exile? 1, 2, 3? 3? None in yard. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I would now like to Altar of Dementia, target myself, sacrificing the Gravecrawler, and try to hit a Cabal Therapy. We hit Cabal Therapy. Cabal Therapy, target you, sacrificing Hogaak. Always yield to those. Now we'll take your Emrakul. Goodbye, Emrakul. Cast Hogaak. I don't think I really need untapped creatures, but it's not like most of these cards are doing anything in the graveyard. Yes, you may fetch. Hello and good luck. That was not a perfectly executed combo turn. I missed something. But we played to the out that removes my opponent's Emrakul from hand. We were only like 50% to hit that out, but it eliminated everything my opponent could do. So, what's the plan? And by that I mean, am I trying to stop show and tell nonsense, as much as possible, or sometimes let show and tell resolve and just answer it with Smallpox or Innocent Blood? And this is where I don't have like matchup experience to know. My inclination is that I just get rid of Altar of Dementia, because if my opponent doesn't successfully combo off, I can just whack them with an 8/8 twice and call it a game. I am not sure if I am going Surgical Extraction deep yet, but I think I like this. So let's try it. This is a neat hand. Just turn 1 Putrid Imp, it doesn't look that good. Then just double discard Bloodghast, play a fetch land, return both. Fetch and cast Smallpox. This is a lot of power, and it technically has a disruption spell as well. I think I'm in. Excuse me? Excuse me? Hello? Alright. A little awkward if the Smallpox gets countered, but hopefully that's fine. I think this is just too much raw power to throw back. My opponent casts a Show and Tell. I can discard 3 Bloodghasts, put in a land off Show and Tell, and return 3 Bloodghasts. So that's cool. And then Smallpox away and Emrakul. I don't think I would ever emotionally recover from that if I was the opponent. Oh, it's probably not happening this turn. Alright, there's a second land drop. What did that Ponder do? No shuffle with Ponder. Sure, that's all fine. And they kept 1 card off of that. Wasteland's kind of whatever. Alright. I fly. Oh. I cannot overstate how upsetting this is. That was cool shit that I was gonna do, opponent. 1 damage. Cast Smallpox. Which honestly, maybe I am supposed to not do. And save it as Show and Tell protection. Okay. Save it as Show and Tell protection. In which case I fucked up and I was supposed to just use Verdant Catacombs to potentially do Dryad Arbor. Whatever, Stitcher Supplier off the top, let's go. Another Putrid Imp is not what I am looking for. 14. Then Fetchland Putrid Imp. If I had gotten Dryad Arbor, my opponent's at 13. I'm just going to kind of cumulatively keep up with the amount of damage that I have missed. That is a Show and Tell. I will make the extra land drop. It is Omniscience into Cunning Wish, which will kill me one way or another. There's a few different ways this could happen from here. So it is the Firemind's Foresight version. My opponent is going to get 3 different things, including a new copy of Cunning Wish. So Cunning Wish Days Brainstorm. Cunning Wish could now get something like an, what is it, Eldamri's Call? Sure, or a Shared Summons. And that just gets them 2 creatures. Hold on. 2? 2? I mean, yes, that still beats me, but you get 2. Does my opponent not have a secondary creature? Like, have they boarded in a way that it's just Emrakul? That's interesting. So if my opponent is boarding so that it's only Emrakul, and they're trying to, like, Omniscience Emrakul, then Innocence Blood becomes less good. So when I'm on the play here, maybe we do some Surgicals. Surgicaling Show and Tell just gets a lot stronger. That is double Wasteland on the opener, unfortunately. 1 black source in this hand is quite good. Nope. Probably falls into the category of good enough. Let's just start with an initial therapy on Show and Tell. Okay. Opponent's hand is pretty redundant. Just going to hold up Brainstorm, so my Cabal therapy is, like, not the best. We're going to get a little tricksy here. We are going to make the land drop, play Putrid Imp, activate its ability, discarding some Bloodghasts. I'm going to do that while holding priority. Now we'll go ahead and fetch. The opponent is going to Brainstorm in an attempt to find Surgical. They did not find it. Just going to get the Swamp here. Return the Bloodghasts, hopefully. Yes. And yes. The best card in my opponent's theoretical hand, the Impulse. The Preordain. Regardless, Cabal Therapy target you. I think I'm going to name Preordain. Alright, we hit. Opponent has multiple dazes. I am fine throwing Gravecrawler into daze. I can literally just recast it for 1 mana next turn since I control a zombie. And setting my opponent back a land drop is quite good right now. Like, that is well worth it to me. So the plan here is now just beat my opponent down before they can assemble both of their missing cards. Sure, land drops are good. Oh, cast a Gravecrawler. Attack for 3. Opponent's at 17. Return Bloodghast. Yes, I have 7 power in play, which is not quite, but very close to a 2-turn clock. Ooh, that's quite good for my opponent. Now they get to Impulse without it costing them a bunch of extra life. So here's 7. I think I hold the land drop, because I do have Bloodghasts that can return under some circumstances. Yep. The opponent has 1 unknown draw, this Impulse draw, and their turn. And they probably need to go off this turn. Ooh, that's not the best for them. They can still go off. They don't get a fetch to clear and another cantrip anymore, though. Okay. Gravecrawler, not great. 2, 4, 6, 7 damage. Can't get this to threshold for the +1/+1. Got it. Send them. My opponent is at 2. Any hit is lethal, and I beat an Emrakul attack currently because I just sacrifice a bunch of creatures and then play this land drop to return 2 hasty Bloodghasts to swing for lethal. So Ancient Tomb was off, fetch lands were off. We squeaked our little zombie butts over the finish line there. Alright, my opponent did the fastest mull to 3 I've ever seen. They are probably playing a very unfair combo deck of some kind. I'm going to lead on Stitcher's Supplier here. Cabal Therapy. Okay, yeah. I was going to Cabal Therapy, target them, and name a combo card. Probably would have named either Doomsday or Entomb. Let's board in 4 copies of Thoughtseize. My opponent's spell-based combo, Innocent Blood, is unlikely to be good. Their Reanimator, the creature getting into play, is already a problem. I'm comfortable going Thoughtseize in the dark. I don't know that I'm comfortable like taking a called shot on something like Leyline. I'm not mulliganing again. I'll match you on some mulligans. This isn't anything. 5 cards. One's also on 5. Okay, this is a great hand. Man, am I getting rid of my Smallpoxes in my last round? I'm definitely getting rid of a Smallpox. Smallpox wouldn't happen until turn 3, so my turn 1 is always Thoughtseize. It's like, do I want Smallpox to sacrifice Stitcher Supplier, or do I just want Putrid Imp, so that if I hit Hogaak, I can, like, somewhat reasonably put that into play? I think, like, keeping this 5 just uses all 3 of my mana on turn 2. Like, over the course of turns 1 and 2, and is thus better. Alright, what's going on? Dark Ritual. Okay, call was correct. I've drawn a Bridge from Below. So, when do I Thoughtseize? The answer is it probably doesn't matter, I lose anyway. Let's Thoughtseize now. That's a very redundant hand. I'm going to take the Brainstorm. Brainstorm does a better job of assembling the kill next turn. Shelldock Isle for Emrakul. Okay. That is certainly a plan. Man, I am so punished for not playing Stitcher Supplier. Damn it. Okay. Gets Bridge from Below, Wasteland. I'm going to continue playing as if I am not dead. I think I'm dead. I can maybe do some Bridge from Below nonsense that my opponent is not expecting. If Emrakul is indeed the plan. Just kill my opponent from 7. Yep. That's Emrakul. Let's see if we win. Like, I very legitimately might. Depends on where my opponent's Thassa's Oracle is in this pile. So, discard Bridge from below. Sacrifice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 permanents. Yeah. I will create a lethal number of zombie tokens while also milling some cards. I will take 15. Let's see if my opponent has Thassa's Oracle this turn. They unfortunately do. So my cheeky little juke does not get there. Alright. My wastelands are good versus the Shelldock Isle piles. Am I getting rid of some number of Smallpox to just play Surgical to shuffle Doomsday piles? Maybe. Smallpox is just like slow considering how aggressively my opponent is trying to mulligan. I don't think it's necessarily bad here, but my opponent is just mulliganing so aggressively. Alright, this is the first time my opponent has just kept a 7-card hand. I get to start on a Thoughtseize and then have an Informed Cabal Therapy as backup. Force of Will, pitching Personal Tutor. Got it? Cool. Preordain's fine. Opponent kept a card there. Oh, they're going now. That's not the best for me. So, like, question 1 is, am I wastelanding Underground Sea? Or am I trying to save it for the Shelldock Isle, assuming a similar pile happens as to last time? I guess I can, like, look for the Shelldock Isle. Subtleties in the deck. So Shelldock Isle is in their pile. So I'm not gonna wasteland. Oh boy, that's awkward. Am I playing Altar of Dementia and passing, and then trying to mill them out? If they built a Doomsday pile that just kills me on this turn, that's a bad plan. I wish I had a third land. Third land makes this all a lot easier. If I have the third land, I can just plan on Altar of Dementia and Gravecrawler next turn. I think it's Altar Pass. And hope that this works out. Got some coverage versus Shelldock Isle. Some coverage versus a Thassa's Oracle kill. I just need to get a creature into play. Yep. Okay. So, cast Gravecrawler. Wasteland you, targeting the Shelldock Isle. And now it's like, when do I mill? Like, do I mill now? Is the thought like, they had the Thassa's Oracle already last time. And I just don't know the location of things like lands. Let's attempt to mill the Oracle or a land. We milled another land and an Edge of Autumn. So is there a land in my opponent's hand currently? That is just the game. Fuck yeah. That feels good. So I feel good about that league, but let me put an asterisk by that. I feel pretty good about this deck list, but I didn't really feel like it was a very good Pox deck list. Like, I think the Smallpox was very easily the worst card in the deck. It was one of the first things that I boarded out in most matchups. So, like, Smallpox and Innocent Blood were the two cards that were my go-to board out cards. We didn't ever like line up the Smallpox perfectly, so we just curved Stitcher Supplier into Smallpox. So I didn't get to like live some of the highest possible Smallpox highs. And sometimes it was just awkward when my opponent had things like Goblin Matron that they just did not care about as a body. And maybe in the Orcish Bowmaster format now, like Smallpox just gets worse than it already was because there's just more creatures around that bring a friend than there were previously. But this whole like graveyard-based Altar of Dementia combo stuff seemed pretty reasonable. We put up a bad but not embarrassing fight when Leyline of the Void happens, and like I can definitely see why 4x copies of Feed the Swarm are around. But the Leyline of the Void games are weird because when you have just a Gas Stitcher Supplier's hand, I don't think you're supposed to throw it back in anticipation of trying to beat a leyline. So you just like keep it, and then sometimes you're playing a really bad game of Magic. So I don't know how strongly I recommend this deck list, but I enjoyed playing it a lot. Sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this one, or yell at me for sideboarding out Smallpox too many times. You know, whatever you need to do. And if you need some Magic cards, check out Cool Stuff Inc. Promo code ThrabenU will save you 5% on your order. And folks, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And maybe attractions will come to Magic Online eventually. See ya.